Jim Holley, Supercross Live here with the Monster Energy Cup. It is over. I'm with Kevin Barnett. Kevin, what a weekend it was. I mean, it started out on Thursday, building this thing up. Is someone going to get that $1 million?
Right.
And we answered the question. It was Ryan Villopoto.
Unbelievable ride by Ryan Villopoto. Everybody said he was the favorite coming in, and he certainly proved that he was. He not only went home with the million, he took it from everybody else. He just checked out in all three of those motos. Once he got out front, it was all over. Simply amazing to watch him ride, the rhythm that he's been in with that bike since he got on the 2012 Cowie.
And something else that, you know, he's taken a little bit different lines. I noticed, I was watching some of the lines, and he was looking for traction out there. There was a blue groove out there. We had seen that earlier. The guys were searching around for traction. That sand was treacherous all day long.
Yeah, he came off during the second moto, right as soon as he was off, talking to the Dirtworks guys about the early part of that sand section. But if you watch him in the turns, the way he flips the bike is unlike anybody else. He seems like he can just do anything that he wants in those corners with the bike.
A good ride for the man who debuted his KTM, the Red Bull KTM rider, Ryan Dungey. I thought he put in a great ride, and you know what? He's going to go back, and he's going to be ready for Anaheim.
Hey, you know he's going to get faster, and you have to believe that this is a big success for that team. You've been on the bike a couple, 3 weeks maybe. You come out, you run a solid second. He knows he can gain time on Villopoto there. He knows he's going to get it with the testing, with all the comfort level that he's going to have before January.
Another guy come January that gained a lot of confidence tonight, the man on the factory Suzuki, Brett Metcalf, finishing up third, and he was up there all night.
He was a very consistent ride from Metcalf. I'm impressed. I think Metcalf is one of those guys, you don't necessarily hear his name all the time, but he goes fast a lot. And he seems like he's just getting faster and faster the more seasons.
When you mentioned some of those names, some of the names we're going to hear in the future, in the Super Mini class, it was Adam Cicerello dominating there.
He did. He dominated, and I do like that Cooper Webb gave him a little bit of a run in the main. That made it more interesting in the second main. But yeah, Cicerello, when he gets going, he looks like not a mini rider. He looks like a top rider, a pro rider, just in small form. That's not always the case. He's really a special talent.
Another one that made it interesting was the Amateur All-Stars. Coming away with that was another Kawasaki rider, and that was Justin Hill came away with that win with a 1-4.
Yeah, Justin Hill, fantastic second moto, went over, gave his brother a big hug, and he hung on a couple of times, a couple of sketchy moments. It always seems like there's a couple of moments where a guy could lose it or not when they're going real fast. But Hill, again, on another Kawasaki, looks so comfortable. The Kawasaki program is so set up for the future. Cicerello, Hill, and Villopoto at the top now.
Well, what'd you think? The inaugural Monster Energy Cup, it is over. We've put it to bed now here at Las Vegas Sam Boyd Stadium. Now all these guys can go back and start testing and getting ready for 2012.
I like the format a lot, and I think people talked about, oh, it's 10 laps, you don't need as much endurance, you don't really have to be in as good a shape, but it was 10 laps, minute 30 lap times more or less, and you had to go back, and you only had 15 minutes between motos. That's what I think made it really interesting, was that format and how those guys cope with it.
Well, and here's the other thing, you'd mentioned the physical aspect of it. I was thinking about the mental aspect. I mean, it's so hard to get yourself motivated for that main event, but they had 3 of them, and they only had 10 minutes in between to get ready for these things. I mean, that's what impressed me most, and the focus and the confidence it took Ryan Villopoto to come away with that $1 million. I mean, I know he had to have been thinking about it.
Well, Villopoto was an interesting choice that he made. He stayed between motos 2 and 3. His bike went back to the trailer. He stayed down and waited between the race. I thought that was an interesting choice, perhaps, to stay out of the mayhem of the pits. And then you saw him come back out, and I wondered, with about a lap and a half to go, I said to you, Jim, what's he going to do? Is he a little nervous, butterflies? He throws a huge whip off the double. He was feeling it all night. Great result for Villopoto, incredible for that team, and I'm looking forward to Supercross.
Well, there you go. That's it. We're going to wrap it up here in Sam Boyd Stadium. That is it for the Monster Energy Cup. Ryan Villopoto comes away with that $1 million. I guess we can call him the $1 million man. For myself, Jim Holley, Kevin Barnett, we're done.